Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors Larry Ray on this most unusual show. We normally have tons of guests on here. Well, we've got great guests this morning, but these are all... Well, we're trying to talk to our co-hosts, which a lot of you guys out there and gals have asked about who are these guys, and maybe we take for granted what Gene Smith does, what Ron Wong does, and Frank Barton does. Well, we got a guy on next with us that I've known a long, long time. If anybody knows waterfowl, anybody knows fishing, this guy does it all. A family man, a long-time employee of Avery. Now he's with Vanishing Paradise, trying to save the ecosystem as we go through this. And, of course, he's in a duck blind this morning, so what else would I think from Bill Cooksey, the 15th? No, you're Bill Cooksey, the what?
I'm the fourth.
You're the fourth.
I'm the fourth.
Okay, you're the fourth.
Yep.
Frank Barton is the third of the Bartons, and he goes back to the Civil War when I think it is, but the Cookseys. Tell us a little bit, Bill. I know you got a lot of friends in the outdoor world, and, of course, I know your love of duck hunting, but you also have a background. Your dad, a very well-known person. So tell us a little bit about your growing up and where you lived and some things that got you where you are today.
Well, I'm from Jackson, Tennessee, and lived there most of my youth. My father was in outdoor publishing. He did wildlife art prints and books. People like Gene Hill was one of his best friends.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I shot my first duck in Gene's backyard.
Come on, really?
Pennsylvania. I did. And through his business, I was able to do a lot of traveling when I was young and hunt and fish in a lot of really unique places like Gene's yard and places in California and Mississippi, Louisiana, South Carolina, just all over the place. And it's a great way to grow up. And it got not necessarily my foot in the industry, but it made it second nature to me.
Yeah.
Growing up, all those outdoor riders and all, the first time I was around outdoor riders on a professional basis, well, I'd been doing it for years, growing up.
And your dad, you guys hunted in some pretty nice places, Bill. I mean, you were what?
Yeah.
Oh, you were a teenager or what when you were doing this? Or you were a preteen?
I started going to the duck blind with him when I was 4.
4.
4 years old, and first place I ever went was, some people may recognize it, the Dyer Farm.
Yes,
Near Halls, Tennessee, and that was Dad's club with Harbert Alexander from Jackson and Travis Johnson and a bunch of those guys.
Wow.
Matter of fact, Ron will enjoy this. Billy Phillips was in that club.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there you go.
The little jewel man.
Yeah, that's right.
He and Dad fished together quite a bit, and I got to share a boat with him some as a kid.
Wow.
John Butler was a close friend of his, and got to hunt and fish with John. And as I said, I've duck hunted in the Sacramento Delta at Venice Island as a kid, which is
been there, done that
place.
Wow,
out there.
Did you ever go to school? I mean, did you just?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
All right.
Matter of fact, I finished up in Southern California in school, and this is something that will interest a lot of people. My dad's duck club in California was in the Antelope Valley, and Edwards Air Force Base was about 3 miles from the duck club.
My gosh!
So we would have Chuck Yeager came over and hunted. Jimmy Doolittle was Jimmy Doolittle was a member of the club.
Jimmy Doolittle was a member of the club.
General Jimmy Doolittle, who led the the Tokyo raid in World War II.
Did you realize Did you realize that they were famous people, or did you just say, "Well, they're friends of my dad"?
By then I was old enough. I was in my late teens by the time he was in that club.
All right.
And one thing we both said years later, we should have had our tails kicked. In their picking shed, each member had their own hook with their name above it. and Cooksey and Doolittle were side by side, and we never took a picture of that.
Oh, well, you didn't have a Brownie camera like Henry Reynolds. You had to have that camera around and sell it to folks, like that. Again, we're talking to Bill Cooksey, of course. He's with us. He has been with us on the second Saturday. We're going to move Bill in January to the fourth Saturday. Switch things around so Ron will not have Bill to cook around with, so to speak, here. But going to switch up when John Gordon is going to come in on that second and kind of move folks around. It suits Bill a little bit better, and we don't want to cut into any of his duck hunting. And also people think, well, they think Cooksey is duck hunter only, but no, every time
he fishes,
he loves
too.
to fish. He has a place on Kentucky Lake, and
one day I hope to get to go to his place on Kentucky Lake.
Well, one day he hopes you take him to eat sometime. So that I'm sorry, Bill.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. This guy, he cooks a little bit too, doesn't he, Ron? I mean, I see him.
Bill's. Hey, did you see what he had for Christmas?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And did you get an invite?
Well, no, because there wasn't enough. He's got so many Cookseys,
There was 3 of those huge ducks laid out side by side.
Yeah.
Beautifully roasted.
Yeah.
And
that's enough, Ron. It's hungry time. Here
know.
we goes. And,
I brined them for 24 hours and then smoked them on the green egg, and they were wonderful.
Thank you for the invite. I couldn't make it.
Yeah, we'll make it next year. But no, that shows. How many banded ducks you got?
I honestly don't know.
You don't know?
I haven't shot one this year. It's been a couple of years since I shot a band.
But
I don't know. I probably have 20 or so. Just ducks.
Does
quite a few geese.
Does your son Bill the fifth? Does he have a band?
His only band is a dove band.
That's what I want you to tell our listeners about, because he got one that somebody.
Yeah,
that's, to me, that's more rare than.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So he
far more rare.
Yeah.
But that spot where he killed it, he was 12 when he shot that banded dove. A few years before that, another 12-year-old shot a banded dove in that field.
Really?
And then last year, I got lucky and I shot a banded dove.
That's what I was leading.
3 bands out of that one field.
Out of that one field, and so the only band I know has got a trumpet player in it and a
and
drummer.
Watch on it. Got a watch on it, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't have. It has something over there. But before we let you get back to hunting, Bill, tell us a little bit about. The seasons. We asked Frank about this. It's going to be iced up next week, looks like. But this Saturday, we got some cold because, of course, it's a Liberty Bowl. It's supposed to be cold, So
that's right.
But what
that's the coldest I've ever been in my life was at the Liberty Bowl when I was in high school.
I will be doing that this morning.
Boston College and Notre Dame, I believe it was.
Well, it doesn't make any difference. I was there for Arkansas and East Carolina, and I swear it reminded me when I was in high school and my mouthpiece on my trumpet stuck on me. I had to go inside and get it off of there. But that happens. But what about the duck season?
But, I tell you what, it's been, of course, for a lot of people, it was rough early. It was so dry.
Yeah.
A lot of folks didn't have a place to hunt.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had water, and we've had a really good first split. And then, of course, it gets tough when you're not getting cold fronts and new ducks. But in the last week to 10 days, both Tennessee and Arkansas have picked up a lot of birds. Of course, there's a lot of water now.
Water everywhere.
And even with ice, I think there's enough moving water. We're going to hold a lot of ducks in Arkansas and Tennessee. So I look forward to continue really good. We'll just have to persevere through some ice.
Well, I know I went to Arkansas over the Christmas holidays. I was over there on Christmas Day and the day after Christmas, and I saw a lot of ducks. During that time around. Parkin and Earl, I mean, right out of West Memphis, there was tons of ducks. And then when I went across the Landgill, of course, it is going crazy. I mean, there's water just going everywhere out of the Landgill. We only saw maybe 2 fields with snows in it, and a few Canada geese. But I was just amazed that the closer we got to Memphis, there was a lot of ducks.
Yeah, that little zone through there, of course, you have that Blackfish Flyway
yes.
and the St. Francis River, and there's some areas in there that are really, really good. But, this year, until we started getting this water and new ducks, birds were really concentrated, and they would move around in those big concentrations. So you would think, man, we're going to smoke them tomorrow because your place is loaded, and you go out the next morning and they're not there. 3 days later, they come back. It's been kind of strange the way they hopscotched around once they got some pressure and learned the area.
So your area is near what? Where are you?
Wynn.
You're near Wynn. Okay. Well, that's not very far from where we talked to Frank. Of course, I've hunted in Lansing Bottoms with Frank, and I always say, let me kill my 3 deer that I try to do before the first, and it hasn't happened yet. And then I duck hunt January because it's $100. I hope my wife's not listening this morning. It's $180 for the non-resident, and I figured up one year I was like $10 a duck. But I'm convinced that I will shoot more ducks this year, and it won't be $10 a duck. It might be $9.
Well, I tell you what, if you can keep your duck cost to $10 a bird, you're doing really well.
There is nothing inexpensive about fishing or hunting.
No.
A lot of people say,
well, a lot of work.
I play golf, and that costs a lot of money. No, it doesn't.
No, if you do 18 holes and
no, it doesn't.
I know it. And the only story I ever regretted doing was how much it cost me to kill a deer. I started figuring out, what it was.
That's right. You think about that.
I got so many negative things with that when you throw in the four-wheeler and the rifle and the land you're leasing and all this kind of stuff, and you say that deer is. Well, that deer was $40 a pound.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to do that.
It's a fool's errand to add it up.
It is.
Go and enjoy yourself.
But it sure is fun.
One thing I'm going to tell you now before we let Bill go, between the time that, when I started and now you're here, the addition of warmth has become so easy now that we can wear things that the technology in the clothing industry and the boots and the waders. I love my new waders that I've got that look like pants, That,
what are they, Red Zones?
They're the banded. They're really nice.
Banded breathables?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, those banded that's what I'm wearing right now.
Isn't that something? Is that not something? That's a long ways from when you were with your dad and you were wearing those old things.
Oh, yeah.
That you had to take
old
hour to get them on and off.
Hodgman, Wade Wells.
That's it. Yeah, Hodgman. I couldn't think of the right. Well, Bill, thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
We will wish you a happy New Year, and we will see you in 2018. And go get them, okay?
Sounds good, fellas. We'll see you.
Thank you, Bill Cooksey. Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Ron Wong, Gene Smith in the studio, both awake. Which is, at this time of day, it's.
Well, I had to wake up anyway because as soon as I can get out of here,
you got to get to the Liberty Bowl.
7:30.
Yeah.
8:30, the pregame buffet opens up. I'll be out there.
There he goes.
And
food.
For those of you that'll be watching on TV, which is on ABC.
Yeah, 11:30.
11:30. You'll see me standing behind the end zone shooting pictures.
Well,
one of them.
We'll be able to recognize you in all your clothing.
Oh, well, I've got some good warm clothes.
Yeah, be sure and wave at us and put a little rebel hat on at the top so we'll know it's you.
Well, I'm gonna have
there's a lot of Wogs out there.
Hat.
Okay.
Yeah, not a bunch of them on the field.
No, that's right. Be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Next up is hope we can hook up with John Gordon. He's in the duck blind also. We'll be right back.
You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry.